Hello and welcome to the ACA conference in New York City. I'm Jane King and with me is Mitchel Penn, Managing Director at Oppenheimer, to talk about BDCs. So explain what is a BDC?
Sure. So first of all, nice to be here. A business development company is a company that is basically a lender. So they make loans to private businesses, and they're a pass-through entity. So anything they earn gets basically dividended to their holder, their investor.
To the investor.
Yeah. And so if you're an individual and you want a security with income, the yields on BDCs tend to be anywhere from 8 to 12%. And the difference between the BDCs, you got to find the ones that earn a good return on capital. Okay. So it's like any other industry. Some of the BDCs have high returns on capital, and some BDCs have lower returns on capital.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I guess, your due diligence as you look for these. What do you look for in a BDC?
So we focus on return on equity. And as long as they earn a return on equity above their cost of capital, they're adding to shareholder value. So if, for example, if they earn 8% and their cost of capital is 8, they're sort of breaking even, so to speak, for shareholders. But if they're earning 9 or 10, they're adding value to shareholders, right? And so that's what we look for. And by the way, if they don't earn their dividend, they're returning capital. So if you think about it, let's take a business that is worth $10, and they're going to pay a $1 dividend every year. If they earn $1, the business is worth $10 at the end of the year. But if they only earn 50 cents and they pay out $1, it's now worth $9.50, right? And so that's the concept that investors have to keep in mind. Focus on the earnings, not the dividend yield.
Interesting. Who are these particularly appropriate for?
So individuals are the typical buyers of BDCs because there are all kinds of restrictions of ownership on institutions. And so mostly individuals, 80% are owned by individuals. And think about it as an appropriate investment, for example, in your IRA, where you want to, you're going to have a minimum requirement to distribute, and this could fund that. And that's how a lot of folks will use it.
In retirement, it sounds like. Yeah. So, yeah, they can count on that dividend and that payment. Mm-hmm. Are there trends you're seeing in BDCs?
You know, the recent trends, because BDCs make floating rate loans. And so as interest rates rise or fall, that determines how much of a dividend they can pay out, right? So if interest rates go up, they can pay out a little more. If interest rates come down, they pay out a little less. So if you think about last year, we had interest rates come down about 100 basis points. And so the most recent trend is there's pressure on some of the BDCs to lower their dividends, which makes sense, right? Because the risk-free rate came down. And think about it from the standpoint of any investment there's a risk percentage added to the risk-free rate. Well, if the risk-free rate comes down, cost of equity capital comes down. So the valuations have stayed up, but the dividends may come down a little bit just because interest rates have come down.
Yeah. So you're keeping a close eye on the Federal Reserve and interest rates. And
yeah.
Sure. Mitchel, thank you so much. Very interesting.